Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to CageZilla53 here in Manassas Park, Virginia. Next fight coming up is between a couple of lightweights, 155. It's bout number 3 here at CageZilla. Let's throw it up to Chris. We'll get the call.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for our next bout. Making his way to the cage fighting out of the red corner is Jose Martinez.
Jose Martinez, 5'10", 155 pounds out of Capital MMA. His MMA debut tonight, so it'll be another beginner that we get a chance to watch as you got a chance to talk to those guys, Jay. Is that correct?
Jose Martinez from Capital MMA, great gym up here. He's been in the country for 4 years. He's from El Salvador. That's where he wrestled in high school. You should see his ears. You can see him there in the excellent shot from Go Sports.
Yeah, a little cauliflowered up.
A little bit.
CD, one of the things that we've seen on these guys with the MMA debut, but coming out of Capital MMA does not send us anybody that's not ready to get up here in the cage.
Yeah, you know, not all debuts are created equal, and I can tell you that Jose Martinez has come from a big gym in Capital MMA. They've put a lot of guys through their debuts, both amateur and pro. They've trained a lot of fighters. They have great coaching staff. This is not new to them. They know what they're doing, and they know what their guys need to do to be prepared and to be competitive in their first fight. And with a wrestling background like Jose has, I think this could be a very interesting fight for his debut.
We see these guys with wrestling debuts, and they probably want to get on the ground, got to get their opponent to the ground and do a bunch of ground and pound. All right, let's throw it back up to Chris.
And his opponent, making his way to the cage and fighting out of the blue corner, it's Kyle Phillips.
Kyle Phillips is 5'7", 155, 27 years old, out of one of the best gyms names that I like, out of Mama's Boy Fight Club. You're a Mama's Boy. I can tell already you're a Mama's Boy.
Yeah, I'll buck that Italian stereotype.
I bet, CD, your mama could beat you anytime, right? She could whoop you.
I think, yes, and my grandmother.
As a matter of fact, being Italian, I would think that your mom and your grandmother and your aunt and your sisters.
Yes. Yeah, I think you got this down pretty good.
You were raised right.
This is what got me into fighting.
Jay, what do you have on Kyle? Did you go back?
Kyle's actually 6 foot tall. He looked at that. He said, "I'm not 5'7". I'm 6 foot." So, new information. Mama's Boys Fight Club is sort of a bunch of friends in Front Royal, Virginia. Can't wait to see what they bring to this. He, played football in college. He used to box with his friends. I can only imagine what that was like with that bunch of friends.
Right.
So, tough bunch of cats, known each other a long time. Let's see how hard they put each other and get ready for this debut.
Couple of Kyles out of Mama's Boys. This is the first one we're going to see tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the CageZilla lightweight division. Starting out, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5'10" and weighing in at 155 pounds, fighting out of Capital MMA, making his CageZilla debut, it's Jose Martinez!
Once again, Martinez, 5'10", 155 out of Capital MMA.
And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 6 foot tall and weighing in at 155 pounds, fighting out of Mama's Boys Fight Club, also making his CageZilla debut, it's Kyle Phillips!
Phillips, 5'7", 155, 27 years of age, out of Mama's Boy Fight Club out in Front Royal.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the CageZilla lightweight of 155 pounds. It is brought to you by Manassas Park, making Pokeballs and sushi rolls in Ashburn, Virginia. Your referee is Michael Dolman.
All right, the fight is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. The referee, Michael Dolman, makes sure the cage is all secure. Both fighters are ready to go. Martinez fighting out of the red corner. He'll have the black gloves with the red tape on them. And then fighting out of the blue corner, Kyle Phillips. He'll have the black gloves with the blue tape as they stand toe-to-toe right on top of the CageZilla seal.
Kevin, you made a great point. We know what to expect out of Capital MMA fighters, don't we?
Yeah.
They do not send us chumps. Interesting. We're going to learn a lot about Mama's Boys Fight Club, about how they train in Front Royal.
Yeah, one thing, Jay, about those guys coming out of Front Royal, or anytime we see some country guys like that, not a lot of quitting those guys.
No quit and tough chins.
Big shot landed there.
Speaking of chins, that was fantastic. Martinez just kind of moved his head for those, took those shots and got the takedown.
Well, I can tell you that Martinez has got to keep his hands up, but he did a great job of getting the takedown. And now we're actually in a similar position where there's a head and arm not quite a choke.
Not
but
quite a headlock, not
Can't
quite
hit
a
in the
choke.
back of the head.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But that's actually created pressure. And Kyle Phillips did a great job of putting his punches together and throwing his and throwing his jab.
One of the things that I see here, Kyle Phillips talking to Michael Doman about the blows to the back of the head. One of those things when you're in a fight or flight situation like Martinez is right now, he feels like anything he can do to get out of there.
Well, and now he's working his way up to his feet. It's very difficult to hold somebody down there. And let's see how Jose responds to Kyle.
And big shots from Martinez, too. And don't we see that out of wrestlers? This is Dan Henderson, just the poster child.
Big shot landed there.
Wrestler, huge punches.
Big takedown again. That one hurt him.
Martinez picked him up over his head. This looks like WWE as he throws down Phillips. And Phillips is taking a couple of shots to the chin. But like we talked about, these guys are tough when they come out of the country like that. They've been boxing with their friends.
Right now, he's mounted. He's in a tough spot. More shots.
Still hitting the back of the head.
And little things out of Jose, little things you learn at a gym like Capital, keeping his head on that chin when he was fighting for position in there.
Yeah, he's done a great job with his hooks.
Phillips in a bad spot.
And now Dolman's going to take a point away.
He keeps hitting the back of the head. Look, get off.
Man, Michael Dolman's good at his job.
Yeah, so and there's some red marks on the back of Phillips' head here from the shots that he was taking. We'll see how he's doing, but let me tell you, the back of the head right there, that's a bad spot to take some blows. Now tell me how much time he's got after he stops this, after those blows like that.
So I believe this is actually ref's discretion. But, you know, Kyle was he was turning his head a lot, and when you're in it, this was Jose's first real ground and pound situation.
Right.
So as he's throwing punches, Kyle has every right to turn his head. It's Jose's job to make sure that those punches don't land on the back of the head. With that said, I think he's going to get a minute. Dolman's going to put him back in, and he's going to reset them on their feet.
Now the eyes have changed for Kyle Phillips. The look of I'm hurting right now, I'm tired right now. The eyes compared to when we saw him standing in the corner at the beginning of the fight. He just doesn't look like this is for him anymore. I don't know if it's a dizziness thing because he got hit in the back of the head, but Martinez hasn't changed his view of this, and Kyle may be looking a little different for me.
Well,
back of the neck is really red.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're dealing with a lot of pressure, a lot of strength. They're getting tired. I mean, this is the first time for him, and he's going to get tired a little bit quick. So you're going to go from that excitement, that energy to, I don't want to quite say fear, but certainly trepidation in realizing, like, all right, I have to do this for 2 more rounds.
Against a very calm customer in Jose Martinez.
Yeah, you can tell Martinez has sparred with some people that have been in the cage before.
He's got to keep his hands up, though. You know, he's keeping his hands down. If Kyle's able to string together some punches like he did in the first round, Jose could be in trouble. So there's some adjustments to be made here going into the corner break.
End of round number 1 as both seconds come out for both fighters. I mean, some of the things that we saw in there, good start. Couple of good rights and lefts from Phillips, but a couple of good takedowns, and then there was really that time, as we see right here, good right lefts, and then all of a sudden here's the takedown.
There was some really good head movement there from Jose, which led to the opportunity for the takedown. You see right here, boom, gets under it, and then he knows how to slam you. He knows how to bring you to the mat.
Absolutely, it was beautifully done. First one sort of caught him, second one not as bad, third one, like you said, that beautiful head movement. There's another slam from Jose Martinez.
Yeah, another big takedown, and when you see those guys do that when they're on their MMA debut, so some of these guys that have been taken down like that before, you can expect that you know what's coming, you know how it's going to feel. We've seen guys get the wind knocked out of them.
We have, and let's give Jose Martinez some credit there. Seeing the replay, he is working hard to keep those on that headphone
on the ears.
sort of template.
Yeah.
Keep those ears are forward. And he did a pretty good job, better than it looked like live.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to land those shots to the back of the head, and I guess that's why Dolman didn't quite punish him the way he would another fighter if it was more intentional.
Yeah.
It was just a warning.
Started round number 2. Martinez in the black gloves with the red tape. Phillips in the black gloves with the blue tape. Right on top of the CageZilla logo with a left from Martinez.
Now, Kyle's starting to slow down big time here. I like that his hands are up, but in the exchanges, if you watch, Kyle's hands will drop. You see how he leans back there? He didn't get dropped. He lost his balance, but he leans back and he drops his hands. If Jose is able to piece some punches together, he could give Kyle a tough time.
Martinez should press, right? I mean, when he sees that happen?
Well, it takes a little while, right? You know, it's easier for us. Beautiful reversal and sprawl from Jose, but Kyle, he followed through. If he's able to get his hand around, he might be able to finish this. End up in side control. He wants to go the other way, right? He wants to push that leg down, go through and decide. He's going to try to trap the leg, but it's just going to end up putting him in a deep half situation.
And you can see that he's probably got his head here, and he's trapped. And when you haven't been in the cage very long, to him, he probably feels like if he rolls over, he's going to be in a bad spot.
Correct, 100%. That's a great point, Kevin. Like the pressure he feels is going to be a little bit more. It's a little foreign to him, and it might make him feel a little bit more anxious than he should.
Right. I shouldn't roll into that. If
Correct.
I roll into that, I'm going to be in trouble, and I'm not going to be able to breathe.
Correct. But the reality is, it's actually being used as an underhook to keep him in place. So, if Dolman doesn't see much movement, he might actually stand him up. He's actually, we can see he's counting right now.
And Martinez slipped right into a head and arm.
Yeah.
Most had it.
Around.
He's got to free that arm before he's able to pass.
Oh.
Big shot landed there.
And caught him when he was standing up, so he wasn't technically on the ground.
Now Jose's starting to see blood. He's starting to put a little more pressure on him. Punching his way in.
Really the more aggressive fighter.
I'd like to see some more jabs out of Kyle right now.
He's got to do something to keep Jose off him.
Big looping punches from Martinez.
Yeah, and distance, like you're saying, Jay. You got to keep some distance here with some jabs.
And I think this is where we're really starting to see the difference between training at a big gym like Capital, which has done this so many times. Jose's looking stronger and stronger as the fight goes on. Big shot landed. Oh, with the big counter.
Oh, and he missed.
From Jose. And that's
over.
it.
Wow, I mean, Kyle came in, threw a couple, he landed a couple, but man, the counter from Martinez.
Yeah, big counter there.
That was a great finish by Martinez.
Wow. And to me, Phillips needs to learn a little balance. I don't think he's a bad fighter. I think Phillips is going to be great. I think when we see him, maybe like another year. You ain't going to have to wait 5 years. Another year, those guys out there, just some better balance, maybe a little better base. The fights and off balance, falling down on throws. Some of those things that when you watch this tape, you'll be like, man, I need to have better footwork.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of time. He actually walked out of the cage here. But this is where it lands a shot, stays a little too overcommitted, and that's what led him into the takedown. And we're going to see that actually again in the next round. He does something similar, and that's what led to him getting knocked out. I think there's a lot of heart there, and there was some good technique, but there needs to be a little bit more conditioning. There needs to be a little bit more defense, and a very good showing from Jose Martinez.
And one of the things that right now that I'm noticing is that Kyle needs to figure out, even though you get knocked out, you need to stay in the cage. Don't walk away.
Right. He walked out. He actually walked down to the stool.
Yeah, and he's gone. He's not even staying in there. I'm not a big fan of that. Like you should get up there and have Michael Dolman acknowledge your partner. So those are the things that we need to see. All right, let's throw it back up to Chris Fuller, and we'll get the call right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Michael Dolman has called a stop to the action. 2 minutes and 17 seconds into the second round. For your winner, by TKO, out of the red corner, Jose Martinez.
All right, Martinez comes away with a big win in his MMA debut, especially for Capital MMA. Like we've said before, Capital doesn't send us a lot of slouches out here, but I can tell you Kyle Phillips should come back. He should not quit this sport. This is something that he could do in his career and in the future for us here as an amateur, and if he wants to move on, still a young guy can get this done. When we come back, more fights to come, plus some big fights from Elisa Reed and Amy Golding, which is one of the fights that we're looking forward to later in the evening. CageZilla 53, we'll be right back right after this.